I'm Jeff Philbin, and if you're not hungry now, you soon will be. But don't worry, we're here to educate, not infuriate. We're sharing another delicious idea for dinner, which we'll show you how to do. Today, a Southern staple done right as we make shrimp and grits, but roll out the red carpet for special guests, chorizo and Gouda cheese. Joining me today in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen is Pitmaster Chad Ward, 7-time barbecue grand champion who you might have seen on Food Network, Fox and Friends, or even the NFL Network, or on his Old Boy podcast. What an honor it is to have you inside the Dinner DeeAs kitchen, my friend. This is a treat for me, man.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's awesome to be here. You know, huge Fox 13 fan, huge fan of yours, and bringing one of my favorite dishes to share with the folks today.
I can't wait because I'm a huge fan of him. Chad also runs Whiskey Bent Barbecue in Lakeland, and this is how he normally cooks. Even Thanksgiving dinner gets done on the grill. Look at that. But not today, because he's here to share his take on a Southern staple. I mean, this is the South. So what are we making?
We're making shrimp and grits, but we're doing chorizo, and then we're also going to do Gouda cheese with the grits. So those are two of my favorite ingredients.
Yeah?
Love them.
I love chorizo. Have you ever made chorizo?
Yes,
sauce?
I have.
Oh, I love doing that part too.
Yes.
It's fun, it's therapeutic, and like Gouda cheese, come on now, man.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Winner's gonna win, you know what I mean?
Winner's gonna win.
And I love that richness of the Gouda with the spice from the chorizo.
Oh, that's a great pairing. So what do we got going on so far here? What are we doing?
So right now we've got our chicken broth. A lot of people when they make grits want to use water. It's not enough flavor. We got to go with the chicken broth.
Yeah.
So we got the chicken broth at a pretty good boil. So now we're just going to take no instant grits around here. We're old boys.
Okay, so you're doing it the true way,
Yes,
the
sir.
right way.
So we've got our grits there. We're going to add in some heavy cream because we need that richness and flavor. And then, of course, what would a grit be without some butter?
You got to add the butter. Now, you've got butter, salted, unsalted.
I usually like to go with unsalted because
Okay.
we're going to season this, which that's a great cue. We're using some of our Whiskey Bent Rock seasoning.
Okay.
So to me, I taste the heck out of my food when I'm cooking.
Right on.
So I'd rather go unsalted butter, adjust at the end.
Okay, perfect, because you're going to have a little bit of salt coming through with this beautiful rub. And what are the flavors that's going to be in this?
You know, the one thing I say about the rocks is if you liked growing up on like McCormick's Montreal seasoning.
Okay, cool.
It's a grown-up version of it. Bigger, bolder flavors, but still has that, I like that chunkiness.
Yeah.
It's really, really good on a steak. It's good on vegetables.
Okay.
I just like that, keeping the spices a little bit larger.
Oh, so cool. Very cool.
All right, now we're just gonna put a mix on this now that we got everything together. And we're just gonna kind of let these do their thing. We'll keep an eye on them, but just gonna let them work.
And like, what's the proper amount of time that grits should really start to take? Like, you can't rush grits.
Right, so I like to stay, we're gonna drop the heat just a touch here, if you'll help me on that. So I usually, about 20 minutes, start seriously kind of looking at it.
Okay.
But it's usually around 30 minutes.
Okay.
Give or take. Once again, depending on how high you're cooking them,
Okay.
can be a little different.
But we just want to let that be. Do we need to stir it or?
We're gonna stir here and there,
Okay.
but it doesn't have to be continuous.
Very cool, because if you want the recipe for Pitmaster Chad's perfect shrimp and grits, grab it at dinnerdeas.com. Better yet, grab your phone, open the camera app and point at your TV so it can recognize the QR code in the corner, and a link to us will magically appear on your phone. All right, so we're gonna keep an eye on that, stir it over so gently. What's next?
Got to start building some flavor. Let's get that
Let's
chorizo
get it,
in
let's
there.
get it. Very cool.
Let's go. So we're just gonna throw this in. We got our chorizo there. I like that sizzle.
Now, was this ground chorizo? Was just linked chorizo? What are you doing there?
This was linked chorizo just because I did not take the time to make my own this time.
Okay, all right.
And this is all I could find at the store. So I just took it out of the casing.
Okay.
And now we're just gonna let it cook and kind of break it up as it goes. One thing I find is a lot of times people, when it's raw, just want to get it all broke up then. No, let a little bit of the cook happen, let some of that caramelization, it'll break up a lot easier.
Absolutely. And for this, you want to be able to have a ground sausage that would be there for this chorizo. Not necessarily like a Mexican-style link that you might see in the dried sausage area of a grocery store.
Yep, we want the raw ground because it's just going to be another flavor component in here.
I love it. And now, how long will you cook this? What are you looking for?
So it's about 6 to 8 minutes. We're going to want to get that really, really brown, nice browning to it because we want that texture also, not just the flavor.
Absolutely.
So once we get that browning all the way around, get it cooked down, we'll get it to a plate and move on.
I absolutely love the smells when chorizo gets a hot, skillet, man.
It
There's
is so
something
good.
about it that just gets you, because while Chad and I saute our sausage, I'm giggling in the back there. I know you're doing that. We're taking a break. When we return, though, how to cook shrimp just right with Chad's top tips ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz, or Breakfast Diaz, Lunch Diaz. How about any time of the day Diaz, as we're making the ultimate shrimp and grits, chorizo shrimp, and Gouda grits to be exact. In a recipe shared by Pitmaster Chad Ward. He's the man behind Whiskey Bent Barbecue in Lakeland and says this dish is all about what he likes. I like that too, my friend.
Yes, sir. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that.
We should, because before the break, we started our grits not in water, but with chicken broth, adding a little more flavor behind it. Then we added in heavy cream, butter, and seasoning, and leaving them to cook for 30 minutes while we started our chorizo and shrimp sauce. By cooking down ground chorizo sausage, which has been in the pan for about 5-6 minutes and ready to start coming off the pan right now, it looks like.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Pulling it off. I'm using a slotted spoon. I'm trying to keep some of that delicious chorizo grease back because we want to share that with our shrimp.
That's got to have that layer of flavor and all that fat.
Yes, sir.
And like one thing that I've noticed here, you're not cooking all together, and that's intentional.
Yes, because we want to get as much caramelization and texture around each one of these. And the chorizo is going to take a lot longer than the shrimp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So by the time, if we had those shrimp in there with those chorizo, man, you'd be playing wall ball with them, baby.
It's just, they're just like, gone, done. You don't want any of that.
Yes, sir.
All right, so kept as much of it, of the fat that we could from the chorizo, but we're going to add a little bit more bacon. Or a little bit more butter, excuse me.
Yes, sir. Not bacon wouldn't have been bad.
I was going to say, like, wait a minute. The light bulb just went off in my head. I'm like, would you do that?
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt at all. Bacon never hurts a dish. Never hurts a dish.
All right, so we got a little bit of some butter that's melting down over here.
Yes, sir.
What do we need to do next with it?
We hammer those shrimp?
I certainly can, sir.
All right, so the key I always tell people with shrimp is, we got a good hot pan here. It is not going to take long.
Yeah.
Right? So, and the shrimp will talk to you. And use a pan like this too where we're not crowded. We've got a nice even layer of shrimp all the way across. So pan management is key with something like this.
And what does that mean? Pan management. For someone at home that's thinking to themselves like, okay, walk me through what that kind of...
Yeah. I mean, I think once it's just understanding how much you're going to cook so you can get a nice even layer in here, but then also, what construction do you want? Do you want it to hold heat? Yeah. Okay, use cast iron. Don't use a thinner pan. Those type of things. And then also getting it to a heat. So many people will start with a cool pan and they won't get that texture that they want on the finished product.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you can see these are starting to get a little color, but we're just gonna watch these babies and pull them as they start to reach that full pink status. And I always tell people too, remember with something like this, it's gonna have a bit of a carryover cook. It's gonna cook even when we take it off the heat. So they're gonna firm up just a little bit more too. So you want to pull them just a touch before perfect.
Perfect.
All right.
Now you're using fresh shrimp here?
Yes, I am using fresh shrimp.
If you wanted to use frozen, if someone couldn't get fresh shrimp, they could?
Yes, they could. And the only thing that I kind of recommend on that is, maybe get started 15, 20 minutes before the dish.
Okay.
Get them out of that freezer bag, get them in a colander, run some cold water over them.
Okay, perfect.
We want to break up that freeze. We also just want to rinse anything off of them that we can, then slide them back into the fridge, and then prep everything else, and you can get ready to go with them.
And about the same kind of cooking that you'd get from those two?
You may have a little bit longer with the frozen if they haven't completely slacked out.
Sure. Now, you get to have a lot of fun, I'm assuming, with a backyard, with a store that's just got all of the toys for having as much fun. What's it like for you to have the switch of working inside? Do you get to cook inside a lot, or are you truly no matter what, I'm outside? I'm on a grill, or I'm actually on a stovetop?
I'm usually outside. You know, when I cook inside on a stovetop, it's usually at the house cooking dinner.
Okay.
But yeah, mostly outside. One, I just like being outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take that back during these Florida summers. Don't get me wrong. You probably find me inside more than others.
Air conditioning is kind of nice sometimes.
Yeah, but the other times of year, just enjoy while we're here. Being outside, enjoying the weather, just cooking outside. Plus, I find for me, now with all the advancements in outdoor grilling, I've got a stovetop on the side of my grill.
Yeah.
I can do almost everything I want out there, so why not?
I love it. And you can do all that with just nature, fresh air, everything.
Yes, sir.
And you too can do the exact same, because if you want to take your shrimp and grits to the next level and do them the Chad Ward way, grab his recipe at DinnerDeeAs.com. You can follow along on your phone right now if you scan the QR code in the corner of the screen.
We're gonna hit these with a little bit of seasoning before we finish.
Now, is this the same season that we had before?
This one is different.
This is
one
different now.
So the Rocks was one of our original seasonings, the one we used first. This one's called the Border. So it's Whiskey Bent's take on Tex-Mex.
Okay.
Delicious seasoning. I really, really, really like it. So yeah, we just hit it with a little bit. Once again, we've seasoned our grits. We've seasoned our shrimp. Our chorizo already has a lot of natural flavor. We're gonna put a touch of seasoning on our veggies in a second. Once again, just a light layer of seasoning, because we're gonna taste all this before we put it together, and then we can finish seasoning.
And then you can always finish. You can always add more. You can't take it away, because you're also seasoning inside the pan too.
Yes, yes. So we have a lot of seasoning going on here, and plus remember, we're gonna have residual flavor and seasoning from the chorizo and now the shrimp that are gonna hit those veggies, I think about right now.
Awesome.
You mind passing me that plate, my friend?
I certainly can. So what do we got here?
So, actually, pass me that plate. Let's do we'll get the shrimps off real quick, and then our veg mix is going to be onion, red pepper, and I had to sneak a couple jalapenos in there on you.
Nice.
A little bit of heat, just kick it up. So we will get these in here. I usually use bigger tongs too, but.
I love it.
All right. And these veggies, you know what I like about this one is we're getting closer to dinner.
Isn't that the fun part?
Yes.
Like, it's like you worked hard all day. You have been looking forward to this meal. This is the moment where it's like, it's coming together.
It is. Like, I feel like we just came out of the half. We had a great motivational speech.
That's it. That's it. It's like, all right, come on. We can totally go in. We're going to win the game right now. Let's go, coach. Bring it in. And you know what's even the best part? It's still been just one pan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've literally just used the same cast iron, building those layers of flavor, letting them come through. No cleaning. I mean, that right there is like...
I love it. Keep it simple. It's about, me and you are having a great discussion now, but you could be having this meal right now, chatting with your wife, chatting with your kids, seeing how their day was. You know what I mean? It's not a... And that's what I tell people all the time when you're trying to plan what to cook for dinner is, it's communal, man.
That's it.
Some of us have been on MasterChef, not me, but not every dinner's an episode of MasterChef or Chopped.
And it doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be.
It just needs to be about the experience, bringing good people together, celebrating the time that you get in the kitchen, around the table, celebrating good food, good people. That's what it's all about. Because when we come back, Chad's techniques for taste testing the sauce before it's too late, and how to adjust it to be just right. Ahead on Dinner Deeas. Welcome back to Dinner Deeas. We're going back to basics today with Pitmaster Chad Ward, sharing his recipe for shrimp and grits, but with some tasty twists. Chorizo in the shrimp sauce and Gouda cheese in the grits. Before the break, we got our cooked chorizo from the pan and let it rest on paper towels while we used the same skillet to cook up our shrimp in butter, adding some seasoning and making sure to turn them when they were just ready. Then we used the skillet over again, a third time, to cook up our onions, red bell peppers, and jalapenos. Then during the break, we also added garlic, some heavy cream, and some chicken broth, and these smells are just like getting to me, man. Like, they smell so good right now.
It's definitely getting dinner time.
All right, so what are you adding to our grits here? This is the Gouda that's going in?
Gouda cheese, yes, sir. So we're gonna get some of that in there.
Now, I hear Gouda is like your favorite cheese.
It is. I love the richness of it, the creaminess. To me, it is just one of the most delicious cheeses out there.
Oh, I love it.
So we're just cutting that in, folding it in, and then...
And just making sure that all that cheese is now starting to melt, be incorporated. And that's the texture that you're looking for. That is the ideal scenario right here. Oh, was that the technical to make sure, like... Yeah, the cheese is starting to kind of come down. So yeah, that sounds about right. You got the melty cheese, like, yeah, you're good.
If that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Exactly. And so wait, now we got more cheese over here. So what do you got over here?
We're doing a little bit of parm in the sauce. just to add a little more richness, and it's also great at just tightening that sauce up here at the very end.
And you're gonna also have that little bit of saltiness. So
Yes.
how do you know like that you're gonna have the right amount of saltiness, seasoning behind all these beautiful flavors?
Because we're about to do this right here.
Oh, come on now, my friend.
All right. So I say, follow my lead here.
Take me down the path, my friend.
I think we could use a little more flavor in the grits. I need a little more rocks.
A little bit more rocks right there.
Actually, I need enough that we're gonna go to the business end.
Man, that.
The sauce has good flavor though.
Just a little more seasoning, man. That is right there. Everything right there. Oh, that's going to be just like a flavor bomb right there, because to get grits and shrimp as good as Chad Ward's here, grab the recipe at DinnerDeas.com. Just scan the QR code to find it, print it, or even watch the show over again.
You know, one of the other things I will say too is if you ever have to, you know, if this were, you know, like if these were too tight,
Yeah.
you know, you notice we have some cream and some chicken broth right here.
Yeah.
If we needed to thin it out a little bit, you could always add that here towards the end.
Perfect.
But I feel like on these, consistency-wise, we're exactly where I want to be.
How do you know that? What are you looking for to say that I've got the right consistency?
So for this, we've got a really consistent grit. We've got, you know, a firm chorizo, a firm shrimp. I like to have this be just not super tight. I like it to be more of a sauce.
Okay.
Cover the entire dish.
So a little looser to mix with a lot of the different
Yes.
textures that are happening
Yes.
throughout this dish, it sounds like.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
Awesome.
Think we should plate one up?
Oh, I'm ready for it, man. I am
All right.
so ready.
Let's, you hand me that there.
Okay. What's going in what order? How are we doing the order of operations here?
So we're going base layer grits.
Oh, come on.
All right.
And it's the perfect amount of cheese, too, because, like, I just saw it again. It just got cheesy. It just totally get that meltiness right behind it.
And you can get nothing on the gram if you don't have a little cheese
You
pull,
gotta
bro.
do it, dude. You got it.
All right, now let's go with some chorizo.
You know what's cool, too? It looks as though that you're plating with intention behind
Yes,
this dish.
absolutely.
You know, like instead of just saying, oh, hey, I'm just going to mix everything together. The shrimp is going to go in here now that it's all come together. No, it's, again, it looks for you. Layer, layer, layer. Even in the plating.
Yeah, well, because you kind of plate it and how you want people to eat it. You know what I mean? And, you know, the other thing is, too, and being a barbecue guy, I was never huge on this to start, but as I've kind of advanced in my career, I've tried to be, is people eat with their eyes first.
Yeah.
You know, and I learned that in competition barbecue where, you know, sometimes you'll have these judges that, you know, they're only taking one bite of your food. So you want to make sure that they're getting, you know, all the taste that they can and all the points that you can. So if it looks good at the very beginning, they're going to want to take another bite or two.
Now, let me ask you that, because, like, I've cooked for some of the greatest chefs there with Gordon Ramsay and Ron Sanchez.
Yeah.
Christina Tosi had a great platform on MasterChef to do that. You just said one bite can determine all of that for you.
Yes.
What's that pressure like for you?
I mean, it's a ton, right? I mean, because, you know, a barbecue competition is about a $1,500 investment if you're local. So you've put all this money, all this time out. Now it's like, hey, you got to put up or shut up. And the last thing you want to do is some small little miscue totally derail you.
Oh, man. Dude, that looks incredible. Look at that right there. That is absolutely beautiful, because if you make this for your dinner, and you totally could, before you eat it, snap a photo and send it to us so we can see how it all turned out. Email dinnerdeas@fox.com. That's what Susie did. Hi, Susie. She's watching us in Leomin. She made the swordfish schnitzel recipe shared by Chef James Renew from the Little Land Gastropub in Clearwater and Estuary in Newport Richey. Susie told us, I used grouper instead of swordfish. It was pretty easy to make, and it was very good. I wasn't sure how it would turn out because I'm not a gourmet chef. It was fun making it, and even better, eating it. Susie, you don't need to be a gourmet chef. As long as you're having fun in the kitchen, the confidence to do it right, and just enjoy the whole process, that's what it's all about. Chad, what do you think about that swordfish schnitzel that was grouper instead of what was the recipe?
Look, anytime you're upgrading to grouper, I'm in.
You're in.
I love
You're
grouper.
sold.
Best white fish out there to me.
That's awesome right there. Come on now. I happen to know another dish that was fun to make and is sure to even be better to eat. Join us as we give our chorizo, shrimp, and Gouda grits a try ahead on Dinner Deas. back to Dinner DeeAs. A top pitmaster has made a pit stop in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen to share a recipe he makes when he's away from his grill. It's Chad Ward, founder of Whiskey Bent Barbecue in Lakeland, and he's been making his chorizo, shrimp, and Gouda grits. My friend, this looks stunning.
Well, thank you so much.
But what's also really stunning, and also a Dinner DeeAs first. You are making Dinner DeeAs history today. And you don't even know it, but no. I know it, and soon you all will know it. You are the first guest here into the Dinner's kitchen wearing shorts.
All right, let's go.
You got it, dude. Look at that right there, my friend. Yeah. Stand up. Let's see this over here. Look at, ladies, look at those legs over there. Come on now. But rocking the J's on top of it all,
yes,
too.
Sir.
Doing it big, and I love it, man.
Thank you.
I love it, and I'm about to love this dish with you. You ready to go in?
Let's go.
All right, man. Now, you going straight in? Oh, you're going spoon,
I'm
too.
Going spoon,
you're going, I'm following.
I'm gritting it, man. So I think I got a little bit of everything in this bite.
This is like that barbecue competition coming out of you right there. It's the competitors say, one bite, bring it all in, let's go, layer of flavor, I got it.
And I think that's what's fun about a dish when you kind of make it correctly is people want to go in for that second and third bite because they're trying to figure it all out. You know, and to me, that's what's fun with food.
It really is, man. This is absolutely fantastic. Thanks again to Chad Ward. A link to Whiskey Bet is at dinnerdeas.com along with the recipe to make this for your dinner. My friends, you definitely want to do it. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more ideas for dinner, or as we call them, Dinner DeeAs. I'm going back again.
Let's go.
Fourth bite here.
Close strong, baby.